What up, ACL Nation? ACL Live here. It's near the end of the season, Bernie. We
You,
made it.
you, you're getting there, man. You made it through the shootouts. Well,
Yeah.
except for the championships and the opens. How
Oh
do you
yeah.
feel? Are you tired?
I am pretty tired actually. I think it was the once we finally tore down, and then we went to Dave and Buster's afterwards, played some games, and kind of relaxed a little bit. And your boys still got it at Mario Kart, so there's that. Uh, but man, whenever I got back to the hotel and I was like, okay, I got to pack, and I was like, you know what? I don't have to leave till like 10 or 11 tomorrow. So I'm just gonna relax, and I, brushed my teeth, sat down on the couch there in the hotel, and I was like, and that was the first moment that hit me that I was like, okay, we're at the end. You made it. You finally survived. And
Yeah,
the Worlds is gonna be fun. I'm actually looking forward to Worlds a little bit more than I've looked forward to any other tournament so far this season, of course. So
sure.
for me, this doesn't really feel like a job at this point. I mean, I know there's going to be a lot that comes along with it. And we got some juggling to do. I'm going to be setting up all the live stream courts and hopefully talk with Chase and uh, Jake and Corey and figure out how they want their setup to go, and then we'll get everything ready for them. But
Got your big
uh,
host, man. Got your
yeah,
big hosting
ready.
gig.
I know, man. I got to get ready for that. That's the one thing is like I'm trying to figure out where to go because I don't want to braid my hair. I'm going to braid my hair with cornrows. People can get a kick out of that. I've been letting it grow out for a while, and I was like, oh man, I got the Stevies. I kind of want to look clean, but I'm like, nah, dude. I let it grow out for a reason, for Worlds, and I'm just going to go ahead and go through with it. So
Wow.
I'm going to go shopping when I'm out there in South Carolina and try and get a little blazer or something and get my outfit figured out and hopefully find somebody to braid hair down there and just have some fun, man.
Charlotte's got all that stuff for you, man. Charlotte's
Yeah.
a Charlotte's
Yeah.
a real city, so you can
Yeah.
actually get stuff done.
I'll be flying into my brother's house and getting his car. He's gonna let me borrow his car for 2 weeks while I'm down there, and
Where's your brother live?
he lives in Columbia, so only an
Okay,
hour
so he's
hour away.
yeah, not far at all.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna work out nicely. I have a chance to hang out a little bit. Somebody invited me to the blind draw, but I think more than anything, man, I'm just kind of ready to get down there early, get at it, and have some fun. I got to get some practice in, man. I didn't realize that they were televising competitive single finals.
Uh, by the way, when you're hosting,
Yeah,
when one of your jokes just doesn't work,
it's gonna
because
hit.
I mean, hopefully for you, all of them hit, right? Just keep going. Don't even
Yeah,
think about it.
well, there's only one moment I'm worried about, and I'm hoping that I have trained ACL Nation by now to whenever I say 8 bags down the middle, social, like I'm hoping people yell back. So if you guys are watching and you meet at Rock Hill at the World Championships, just please pick me up for that one moment. That's the only one that I need. If you
You'll
guys do,
get, yeah, you'll get
get,
people for that.
if you guys give me crickets, I'm done. But how you feeling, man? Into your season two?
Yeah, I'm tired. I'm. You ever have those stretches where you just don't sleep?
Yeah, yeah,
I'm in the middle
100%.
of one of those. I think I've gotten maybe 2 or 3 hours in the last 3 nights
Oh man,
max. So I'm
man.
just kind of zombie brained right now, and it's no real reason. It's not like I had this to do or that to do. Just can't sleep.
You
So
take anything forward or no?
I try not to, but
Yeah.
I think tonight Benadryl always works. But if I take too much, then the next day I'm just drowsy walking around. So I might take one tonight, see if I can knock out for a little while.
Yeah. As you know, I'm coming off sickness, so I
Yeah,
got some extra medicine laying around, and I'm the type of guy like I don't like extra food on my plate. I don't like extra
you're supposed to
drink.
take it all. You're
I
supposed to
will.
take it all. That's why they
Yeah.
prescribe it to you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna. Well, I mean, I'm talking like over the counter, like
Oh yeah.
this. What do I got here? Vicks 44 or whatever.
Uh
I'm gonna be down in that, but it's PM stuff, so hopefully that'll knock me out for a little bit. But
So you got
I don't know.
how long do you have off? A week?
Technically, I got 7 days. I fly out next Tuesday or Wednesday. I think it's Tuesday. And I need to drive back to Kansas City, get one last car full of boxes, and then come back here to St. Louis, unload it all, turn in my keys, get my mail, forward the stuff like that, and make
And
sure
then
the
you're done.
electric switched over. And then I'm done in KC officially. I would like to get to have one night out there of fun, but I offer the kiddo a chance to make some money. We got the whole trying to teach her lessons, and this is where money comes from. Come, it doesn't just come whenever you throw a text message to dad that says, "Hey, can I have some more money?" Like you actually have to work for it. So I think I'm just going to
Nice.
pay her, $20 per hour, which is pretty good for her age. But
Sure.
it's actually really good. But 4-hour drive. So there's $80. 4-hour drive back. It's 160. All you got to do is hang out with your dad, which is torture in itself for her, I'm sure. But
So what music do you listen to when you're in the car together?
I listen to anything. It all depends. So like I'll have my I call it military motivation music. It's kind of like if you ever go to YouTube and you type in motivation, it's always the background music and stuff.
Right.
And it hits kind of hard and kind of has some crescendo into some, dropping boom stuff like that.
So you don't let her choose the music when you're driving together?
I'll 100% let her listen to whatever she wants to listen to. I don't really care. I just want hanging out with her for a little bit. And
so, is she a T-Swizzle fan?
She is definitely a T-Swizzle fan. And after my appearance on the American Cornhole League's TikTok and T-Swift shades, I gotta, I guess, freshen up. You never know when the content team's gonna strike.
Yeah, they do appear. They just kind of appear around the corner.
Yeah. All right, chat. So what we got going on today, we're going to go over the shootout finalists. We got the men's singles, we got the doubles, we got the women's singles, and then we're going to take a brief look at the ACL teams finals that are coming up as we whittle it down to 8 and get ready for Rockville, South Carolina. So teams broadcast will be Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Championships will be Tuesday. All that's going to be on CBS Sports Network. And then the shootout finals, it looks like it got moved.
So the finals got moved from 9 to 7.
9 to 7 on Thursday, and that'll be on ESPN2. So, chat, grab your beverages, buckle in. It's going to be a long one. A lot of content coming your way. We'll take a commercial break. When we come back, we'll go right into it. See you in a few. All right, everybody, welcome back. Appreciate you guys all tuning in. We're going to go ahead and start things off in the men's division right where we left off. Super Hole number 8. Ryan Hart took that one down, so he'll be taking on Kyle Malone, who took down the first shootout from Myrtle Beach. They finished that one off in Arizona. Take a look at the pro rankings right there. Kyle Malone comes in as the 22nd ranked pro in the singles division. Ryan Hart in the 69th spot. PPRs belong to Kyle Malone there at 9.0 against a 9.57. But as far as who's trending upwards at the right part of the season, I would actually lean closer towards Ryan Hart. What do you think, Bernie?
I'm with you. I the way he played the shootout, look, I talked to him right after he had qualified for broadcast court for the finals at the last shootout this past weekend, and there was a little trepidation on his part. You're like, hey, is it going to be too much? I think he was just kind of worried. Didn't show any fear, didn't show any signs of any nervousness. And if you're looking at who's playing better right this second, do you make Ryan Hart the favorite in that match? I mean, I know that sounds crazy. I mean, I know it sounds nuts.
I think the
But
one thing with Ryan Hart is Ryan Hart would probably get into a groove and be able to get going, which is what we saw. So whenever we look at Kyle Malone's shootout from the first one, Kyle Malone played the tournament, sat, did some interviews, played his finals a different day.
right,
Ryan Hart used that entire day to kind of get the momentum, build it up, got his throw at the right time, just threw absolutely lights out, and then had no fear going against Devin. So the difference is, I think Kyle Malone is already used to this break before he has to play,
right,
and this is pretty much you just get in and you go. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So single elimination format. I'm probably leaning towards Kyle on this one. Ryan, you're my guy. Everyone knows how much I love Ryan, but I don't know, man. I think Kyle has the, I guess, rhythm of what we're looking at here down. And
right.
if it were like a double elimination or something like that, maybe that might change. But yeah,
No, that's a really
yeah.
good point because Kyle went through this at the beginning of the season or the beginning of the
Mhm.
shootout season. So that's a really good point. So he's still Kyle Malone. I mean,
Yep.
January, February is the best player on the planet, right? Ends up 22nd, which is nothing to sneeze at considering how deep the field is these days. So maybe you're changing my mind, Wally. Nice work.
I do think though that Kyle Malone would like to run bags, but his airmail is better than Ryan Hart's. But if I'm playing against Ryan Hart, I'm not trying to run bags.
Right.
I'm trying to throw some blockers and utilize that airmail more to basically neutralize and let Ryan make a mistake and score some big points and some big rounds and just kind of wash out the rest. But see what kind of strategy mindset they have going into it. Next up here we have Chris Kingsbury. He took down, I believe, the fourth one in Dallas Fort Worth, Texas, going against Mark Richards, which I believe was
The
Mesa,
fifth
Arizona.
was that I believe that's correct. The fifth one, whichever our fifth
Yeah,
stop was.
yeah,
Now it's all run together in my brain now,
yeah. I'm doing
unfortunately.
my best. And by the way, guys, I was thrown into the show last minute today once I
Yes.
landed. I volunteered to get in. So if there's any
And
errors,
look
and
how he's doing though. Look at the graphic.
if
Look at
there's,
him go.
I already know for a fact somebody's going to be like, hey, I know you made, 57 graphics in 2 minutes, but there's an error here on the third page. Hashtag
Well,
Jeremy Fraser calling me out for misspelling Carson and Ian Cripps.
oh,
Yeah,
oh.
I threw that together last second too. And everyone was like, you misspelled it. I'm like, okay, whatever. But I did the best I could, guys. So hopefully this is at least entertaining, giving you guys something to look at here. Um, Big difference here on this page that stands out to me is obviously the pro ranking number one. Mark Richards
Right.
comes in as your one seed, even though Chris Kingsbury is actually the higher seed in the bracket. Kingsbury, the 22 ranked pro, PPR around 9.83, and the PPR for their mark there is a 10.12. So obviously
I
leading the pack there.
don't you think? All right, game to 21. It's not a question. You go Mark Richards all day, right?
Yeah.
Round limit. Mark did win a shootout. Mark is doing Mark Richards things, right? I mean, he's the number one player in the world for a reason. He's out of his mind right now as a player. But because it's round limit, I think you give Chris a chance in this matchup.
100%. There's two things that I look at here is whenever Chris Kingsbury won his, he struggled early. And
Right.
then he did not miss a bag. I think the final 5 rounds, something like
Yep.
that.
Yep.
Yeah, so he was lights out the entire way. Now, Mark Richards will give you 2 points. If he just doesn't feel like it's worth chasing the bag or something like that, he'll be fine giving you 2 points.
Yep.
So if Mark decides to do that at any point in the game, Chris Kingsbury could rattle off a whole bunch of bags in the hole. Mark will be able to put up that blocker, but Kingsbury does like throwing faster bags. We'll see how Rock Hill's boards play. But I do give Kingsbury a fighting chance in this one. I mean, if I had to take a pick, put a gun to my head, I'm taking Mark.
Yeah.
I think he's got the shootout format figured out, and his mentality isn't going to be bothered by Kingsbury's pacing. Whereas if we had a different opponent that might play a factor, I don't think it's going to play a factor with Mark here in the first round.
I was gonna bring that up. I don't. Mark's just he's too solid mentally for that to really get to him. He's gonna play his game. If you want to play a little slower, he'll just wait a little bit longer. But he's gonna play his game, and it's just. If this tournament once again was to 21, Mark Richards is my favorite overall, right? I just there have been some minute struggles in round limit for Mark. And it's just because, like you said, he's willing to give up a point here or there. He's willing to give up some rounds. Well, you've only got 10. So how many can you really give up? So it is a fighting chance for Chris. But I mean, Mark, you got to lean Mark.
It's hard to bet against Mark, isn't it?
It really is.
What up, Ryan? What up, Ramon? Heather checking in says Richards is so smooth, always focused. Love the gameplay from Heather. Yep,
Yes. But that's
100%.
but that's what I like about King. I mean, Chris seems to be that type of player as well. It doesn't seem like a lot gets to him.
The only difference is Richards can brush off a miss easier. Kingsbury would kind of, let it stew on him a little bit. So
I'm with you.
that could
Round limit, you can't afford to do that.
Yeah, that could compound. So we'll see. All right, next matchup, we got Matt Guy, the number 2 seed, taking on Fisher Hamilton, the 7 seed. Matt Guy took down his shootout. Remember, I called that one, Bernie? Remember?
Yes, you did.
Back.
Yeah.
That was in Kansas, and then Fisher Hamilton, as you see there in Oak Creek, Wisconsin, at Summerfest, takes that one down. Glaring difference here on this page. Both players ranked pretty high. We got 10th for Fisher Hamilton, 16th for Matt Guy, but that 10.44 PPR of the season as a pro for Matt Guy against Fisher's 9.53. That's just ridiculous, though.
For a whole season.
For this whole season.
Right? I mean, that's insane. I mean, think about all the players
unheard
now.
Of.
Yeah, the way that the style of the game has changed, and he's still throwing a 10.44. I don't know. I mean, I like the fact that Fisher is going to make him make decisions, right? He's going to force him to do things he may not want to do, but he's still Matt Guy. But am I crazy? Am I crazy that I'm taking Fisher Hamilton in this?
Well, we saw this matchup in Erie, I believe, to get to the play-in. Matt Guy took down his bracket.
Yes.
Fisher Hamilton took down his bracket. Fisher Hamilton was in command that entire game and was lights out basically that entire tournament. Ends up taking down the national title in singles. But, again, different format. Race of 21. Fisher Hamilton, in my estimation, was probably one of the top 3 players right now on the planet. And then he had a little bit of a chink in the armor. What day was that? Yesterday, singles against Alex Rawls. Just some questionable decision making down the end. I'm not sure if he just got tired and kind of worn down. Obviously, this would be a fresh start, but some decision making issues the entire season from Fisher Hamilton. I'm going to lean a little bit towards the experience and the high PPR in this one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to lean towards Matt Guy. I think Fisher Hamilton, though, will give him a run for his money. If anything, I'm saying this will probably be like a 4-3, 5-4 finish.
Right.
I don't think there's gonna be much needle moving here.
Yeah, the interesting thing about Fisher and a lot of guys in that age bracket, there's not the same fear. There's a lot of respect for Matt Guy. There's a lot of reverence for Matt Guy. But the people in Matt's age bracket, there's a little bit of fear. Even still today, there's still a little fear of Matt. And I don't know if the teenagers and the young guys really fear him the way some of the other adults do. And so round limit, Matt played better this year in round limit, but he's still, Matt's going to try to outlast you. He's going to try to outscore you later. He's going to try to hit the bigger shots later. Once again, it's 10 rounds. You don't get look, and we've watched Matt play, and there have been times where Matt's not sure what round it is.
Yep.
And I wonder if that kind of comes back to bite him in this matchup against Fisher. I don't know. I mean, I think it's a coin flip personally, but the 10-4-4, that's just so hard to get away from.
That's why I wanted to put the PPRs on there just to kind of give you a difference of the plays. Now, Fisher is very capable of rattling off some 10s and 11s in the tournament, but again, be interested to see how this one goes. Fisher's strength is the block. Matt Guy's strength is the airmail. So what are we going to get out of it, All right, next up.
Styles make fights, man. Styles make fights.
Yep. Next up, we got Tony Smith. He's coming in as the 3 seed. Gavin Cano coming in as the 6 seed. Tony Smith took it down in Miami, which was a continuation from the South Dakota shootout. Gavin Cano took it down, I believe, in Ramsey, Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
So Gavin coming in as a 26th ranked pro. Tony Smith comes in as the 2nd ranked pro, 9.91 against a 9.70 PPR. Stylistically, though, I think this one's pretty similar. I think these guys play pretty much the exact same game. This one is more of a coin toss for me. Tony Smith, though, we've seen him rattle off, 50-some bags in a row?
Yeah.
We haven't seen that from Gavin. I mean, that could be the difference. I don't know.
And Gavin, if he has had any struggles, it's been on broadcast court, right? Yeah. Even though he did win a shootout, he's made it to how many broadcasts this year? It feels like we've seen him and Fisher on TV every other week. But if he's had some struggles, it's been on the broadcast court. I think Tony Smith is a different animal. However, I think this is a must-see TV matchup.
Yeah.
Right.
The cool thing is, man, I think that there's probably Not screwed. I'm gonna say all of them. All four of these could be the finals matches. You know what I mean?
That's right. I mean, all of them, right? Yeah.
We're
I
in
mean,
for
easily.
a treat, man. We're in for a treat. So we got the number 1 and the number 2 ranked pro turning in here. We got the highest PPR in the pro ranked division going in there. In my opinion, we got basically 2 of the best roll bag players right now in Hamilton and Kano, and then 2 guys who just love to run bags and Malone and Hart. So I think we got a plethora of talent, guys. Plethora.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do.
All right, so when we come back, guys, we're going to go into the women's division. Cheyenne comes in as the number 1. She's going to take on Sarah Cassidy. We'll get into that here in just a little bit. All right, when we come back, chat, let us know what we got wrong, though, in the men's division. See you guys in just a few. All right, ACL Nation, welcome back. We are going over the shootout finalists. We just got done discussing the men's. We're going to hop over to the women's. Before we do that, though, Bernie, I'm a little nervous, man. I'm starting to have some of the technical issues again. So
I felt that. I lost you for a second. I lost
Okay.
I lost the sound, and I was like, oh no.
yeah, so if I die, you got the email. Just run through it without the graphics, all right? And I'll do my best to pull it back up. Hopefully, it's not an electric thing and just an internet thing. But checking in with the chat real quick. Ramon says, I wish Kano would throw the roll bag more. I think that he's kind of changed his game a little bit to try and match some of these high PPRs. So his roll is still elite. Chris Novoice says he has been on fire lately. You ain't lying about that one.
Mm-hmm.
Big Tone checking in too.
I think Tony's kind of changed a lot of players. I think they're kind of following his lead. Mm-hmm. A lot of the kind of dirtier style roll bag players have seen, the massive jump he's made. And when you talk about the level of talent and still to jump up to number 2 in the world, because he's just decided to put more bags in the hole. And I think some of those players are kind of following his lead, and that's why they're doing that.
Yeah, roll bags are fun. They get the ooh and the ah, but whenever you play against someone who's got the same talented roll bag that you got, then it just becomes a matter of consistency. So,
right. I mean, there's a time and a place for everything, right?
Yeah. I like this little hybrid that we're getting out of, I guess, Fisher, Caleb, Tony, and Gavin right now. I like this hybrid method. All right, let's dive into the women's, Bernie. We got Cheyenne Bubenheim, your number 1 seed, taking on Sarah Cassidy, your 8 seed. Cheyenne took down the first one. Where was the first one at, Bernie? I already forgot. Myrtle Beach, and then
Myrtle Beach, and then it went,
in Canton here.
Yeah.
So Cheyenne Bubenheim, the 29th ranked pro in the female division. By the way, still not top 20. Just saying.
Oh, just outside. Wow,
shots
nice
fired.
Work,
shots fired.
We
still got Worlds though. She's still got Worlds, and she shines at Worlds. But here's where it kind of skips a little bit. Sarah Cassidy down to 161st ranked. So the women's division, you're going to see a little bit lower ranks in the pro division. But as far as PPRs go, they're still up there. 9.68 for Sarah Cassidy, 9.87 for Cheyenne Bubenheim. We've been kind of talking about it all season. Who can challenge Cheyenne? In your opinion, do you think Sarah Cassidy has it in her? Did you see enough at the last shootout
It's not so
think
much
Cheyenne could be
that.
in trouble?
I think there's a history there that she could. I think her style, if she can kind of get dialed in and get down the middle. I mean, she has a reliable miss, that right to left natural cut in her bag, and then sometimes she overcompensates and pushes a little bit. But if she can get hot, she has a style of game that could give Cheyenne trouble. But I mean, until someone proves otherwise, Cheyenne's, she's the top dog in this room. So I don't see it. It's there's a possibility there, but Cheyenne, and really what's another thing that separates Cheyenne from the rest of the ladies, if it does get close, if it does come down to round 9, round 10, or extra rounds, she's not going to get nervous. She's going to maybe even play a touch better, and that's kind of what separates her. So I think you have to go Cheyenne in this one.
Yeah, with Sarah throwing faster bags, Cheyenne's strength is obviously pushing through the pile and just going in. I don't think it's to Sarah's benefit to try and block and then make the push in shot against Cheyenne. I think Sarah's just
Yeah.
gonna have to run bags, and hopefully Cheyenne gives you 2, maybe 3 opportunities to where you can score possibly 2 or 4 points in the round, and hopefully just add it up and kind of get lucky in a way. I mean, Cheyenne's just so dominant in the female division. And if we take a look back to whenever she won the shootout, she won those with carpet bags. Remember?
That's correct. That is
Yes.
correct. She was thinking
So,
about changing some things up
yeah.
a little bit. The thing is, I think Cheyenne's. It's hard to say this, but I don't know if her level of play has been the same as it's been in the past. I mean, she's given up more 4-point rounds. She's
Mhm.
had some strange misses from time
Yeah.
to time, and I don't like when she plays against some of the men on tour. They hammer her for it, right? When she
Yeah.
has those bad rounds, they completely take advantage and they make her pay for it. And I think she gets away with it a little bit more on the ladies' side. So if she gives you those rounds, if she's got bags to the left and the right of the hole, you have to take advantage of it. And so that if Sarah sees that, and I think one thing you and I have noticed on streaming courts, whenever someone sees an opportunity, some players jump too fast at it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They rush. They see it. They're like, oh my God, I got to go get it. And they
Yeah.
rush just a touch.
Yeah, I think the thing with the women's division that's given Cheyenne such a benefit is Cheyenne is down the middle, high PPR is right in the hole, and then she is capable of pushing through. One thing whenever she goes into the men's or even doubles that we saw where she kind of had some stinker rounds is whenever she would leave a bag short and then somebody would take a step out and kind of bully her out or off to the side a little bit. In the
Yeah.
female division, you don't really have too many ladies playing that strategy game. Sarah Cassidy is accurate enough to do it. The
Yeah.
question is, does she wanna step out and go for the bully instead of just trying to get her back in the hole? So, we'll see if that plays a factor. Who
I'm
knows?
with it.
All right, next up, we got Lori Dool, the 4 seed, taking on Gina Ramirez. She comes in as the 5 seed. Lori Dool took it down in Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. Gina Ramirez on her home court there in Mesa, Arizona. 9.28 PPR for the underdog over Lori Dool's 9.17. 225th ranked pro against 187th ranked pro, but Lori Dool is coming in with the experience. Gina Ramirez is having a great rookie season. I think this one, Bernie, is going to come down to Gina Ramirez's airmail. Gina Ramirez has a sneaky good airmail. The question is, will she set up situations to use that airmail?
Yeah.
We talked about it. Lori, being the smaller frame, she can push through piles, but she's putting a lot of effort into pushing through bags.
Right.
So we'll see what kind of strategy comes out in this one.
I think it comes down. I mean, Lori's going to compete, right? And I think that like if this game, I don't think Gina wants to get stuck in a game that's close.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, I think that's advantage Lori all day. I think her competitiveness, her fight, I'm not saying Gina doesn't have any of that either. I know she does, but just that's what makes Lori. That's her special quality, right? And nothing against her style of play, but you wouldn't say, oh, well, she does this better than a lot of other people. She does this better than a lot of other people. It's her fight. It's her willingness to compete. And so if it gets to that kind of game, I think you got to favor Lori a little bit.
One thing that makes me excited about this one is Lori Dool, I believe, was down in the final round to Elizabeth Tennyson, and then she had to hit a clutch shot at the end to seal the deal and get her spot in, and she hit that shot. And then
she will.
Same thing with Gina Ramirez. Gina Ramirez had to hit that airmail over Cameron Belvin to get her spot too. So both these ladies, if it comes down to the line, are capable. The question is, who's going to have the lead there in round 10?
Wouldn't it be awesome? I want that. I want that same opportunity for both of them, having to hit their last bag.
Bring in the drama. We want it.
We want it.
All right. Sorry, Yeti. Couldn't find a single picture of you by yourself. So next up, we got Sam Finley coming in as the 2 seed against Yeti Irwan, the 7 seed. Sam Finley took that one down in Kansas, and I don't remember she missed a bag in that one. She's still throwing bags in the hole in Kansas.
Yep.
Yeti Irwan in the Summerfest tournament there in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. Yeti is the 114th ranked pro. Sam 131, 9.47 against a 9.06 PPR. Stylistically, I would say they're pretty similar. Sam's airmail is more of a line drive bang. Yeti's is a little bit higher. So I don't really see Yeti kind of throwing the blockers to dirty this one up. So I think we might be in tune for a race. And if we're racing, I'm leaning towards Sam.
Yeah. Let me ask you a question, Wally. Like if you were to, all right, which one of those two players would you say is more talented? Just more talent with the bag.
I'd probably lean Sam. Sam has a more consistent regular shot, and she throws hard enough to push through piles. We kind of talked about it on the live feed. I don't know if it was me and Mish or me and you or what, but not too many females push through piles and have the ability to do that bar soap stuff. But Sam Finley is definitely one of the ladies who does throw hard.
But that being said, when you look at their ranking, Yeti has found a way to play, at least in pro singles, a little bit better than Sam this season. That says a lot about Yeti, because I don't think she has the natural talent of a Sam Finley, but she finds a way to get it done. And I think, Jeff McCarriger had a great point that winning helps. It breeds confidence. And I think she's starting to feel better about her game.
Sam
can't afford to have like a slow start, 2 or 3 rounds that just aren't like she gives up a 5 or she gives up a 7 just because she can't find it for one round. I don't think she can afford to do that. I don't think Yeti will let her come back. Like where in the past, I think Yeti would let her back in. I don't know if she really will now. So Sam has to be ready to go from the first round on. And if she is, I think she's too talented for Yeti. But if she's not, I don't think Yeti's going to let her back in.
One thing I know is there's going to be plenty of smiles in this match. Yeti and Sam love to have fun on the courts. See which one can hold on to that smile a little bit longer, though. Heading into the final match, we got Rosie Streaker comes in as your 3 seed. Cameron Belvin comes in as your 6 seed. Rosie with a 9.80 PPR against Cameron's 9.30. However, Cameron is the higher ranked player, 98th in the pro division. Rosie Streaker right there on the cusp at 105. Rosie Streaker at the beginning of the season was another one of these ladies who's absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
Driving bags down the hole, throwing high. Was it 10.86 over 100 some rounds or something like that early in the season? So let's see if we can get back to that version of Rosie.
Well, I think Cameron has some celebrating, right? Now that she's a mother to be, maybe she can ask Rosie what that's all about. Yeah, Rosie's got plenty of practice. But I mean, look, I think you kind of made mention of it talking about Rosie. I mean, there was a point in the season where you would say, all right, Cheyenne Bubenheim's your best player. Who's your second best player? And I think a lot of people would say Rosie on the female side. And, when you start thinking about pure talent, I love Cameron's game. I think she has a lot of shots. It's just, to me, I mean, I guess you could say this about all pros. It's like, who does the better job of getting rid of a bad round emotionally?
Yeah. I think the other factor is Cheyenne's push is really, really good. Cameron's push will show you a mistake.
Yes.
Whenever she misses a push into a bag sometimes, and that push that she misses is usually off the board.
That's a good point.
So in round limited format, that's a 5.
Right.
That could be a big 5-point round. So Rosie's not going to give you much leeway as far as 5-point rounds goes. So Cameron's pushes have got to be on for this one. Rosie will take an airmail shot every now and then, so you might be able to steal 3 points back. So I feel like this one could be actually a high-scoring game for round limited format.
I think it is too, because when Rosie misses, she is sliding down the middle. I mean, but she's off the board with the style that she plays, and so she will have some bags on the ground. I'm with you. I think this is a game, 15-13, 17-13, that kind of game. I'm with you.
I was thinking 15-12, but right there, big scoring. Hopefully, either way, hope it's a close one. Hopefully, all these matches are close and entertaining. I'll be on the edge of my seat watching them all. All right, commercial break. When we come back, let's dive into doubles. See you guys here in just a few. What up, ACL Nation? We're back trying to survive the rest of the weekend here.
Hey, Wally, you know
Yep.
what? I'm not letting you off the hook here. We didn't even
Oh.
say, so we got to go back into men's singles and women's singles. I need you to pick a finals and a winner.
I was gonna ask you when we started, and I forgot to if you wanted to go through winners and then into the next one.
Uh,
All right, let's go. So we got. I don't remember who I said was gonna win. I'm probably gonna end up picking a loser here. All right, so we got. I'm going with Tony, Matt, Mark, Kyle. I think I said. I'll probably take Mark as the overall winner for the shootout for the men's. And then in the ladies, I'm actually going to go with Rosie over Cheyenne.
wow, I like it. All right, so I thought about this. If you go back, the first shootout final, you had Frank Modlin, Adam Hissner, if I'm not mistaken. And then last year, Josh Holland wins it. So guys that can run bags tend to do pretty well in the shootout. Does that mean Matt Guy? I mean, Mark Richards can run bags all day. I'm going to go Tony Smith.
Okay.
I'll take Tony. I don't know why, but I've just got a feeling the hybrid. It's been kind of the style du jour this season, so I'll take Tony as the winner there. And I mean, until someone beats her, it's Cheyenne Bubenheim.
I would have taken Tony if it weren't for the fact that Tony hates the shootout format.
I know.
If he
I
would have
know he
bought
does.
into it, if he would have been like, it was good money, there's different strategy involved. I can do this, then I would be all about
I
Tony.
think
But
now that he's there,
attitude matters.
now that he's there and the money's real, I think he changes his mind. I think he gets focused in.
It all depends on what tee times look like, I think. If he's
Ah,
going golf in the next day.
that's a good point. That's a really good point. But I'm going to go Tony, and then, like I said, until someone beats her, it's Cheyenne in the ladies division.
What up, Carson, Allen, and Dawson? How you guys doing? Ramon wants to know when we're going to San Antonio. Says that they are ready down there.
Let's go.
I've never been to
Let's
San
do the
Antonio.
Riverwalk, baby. I love the Riverwalk.
I don't think I've been to San Antonio before. It could be fun.
Don't go to the Alamo. No offense to my San Antonio friends,
been
but
to
it
the
is
Alamo.
not worth the money. And
I've
I
been to the
love
Alamo,
history.
but I was like
love
8.
history.
I was like 8, so I don't remember it.
Yeah, it is. It is. It's not worth the money. And
All
I
right,
love history.
let's dive into doubles real quick. We already got our winners and for the men's and women's picked up, so let's keep a little different mindset as we go through this one here. All right, so Ryan Smith and Ryan Wiedenfeld coming as your 11th pro ranked team. They are the 1 seed. They defeated Jimmy McGuffin and Damon Dennis in that one, but Jimmy and Damon showed some resiliency going through Ryan Windsor, Noah Wooten here in Canton, Ohio. They are the 31st ranked pro team, 9.80 and 9.51 against a 9.41 and 9.0.01. And that tells me right there, these are just two different styles of gameplay.
Yep.
So I actually still have not seen this first matchup in Arizona to how it played out. You were there firsthand.
Yeah, I think Ryan Wiedenfeld's style of game is whoever he's throwing against is going to give them fits. Okay. And I think he's going to be picking up points if he's on. Now, look, if he has a bad day, that changes everything because you know what you're getting with Damon and Jimmy. You know exactly what you're getting. There's no, but they are who they are, right?
Right.
But I think the Ryans can give them trouble stylistically if they're on. If not, they're going to give up points because they're just going to leave open slides for Damon and Jimmy. But if they're on, I think it puts them having to make decisions they may not necessarily want to make. So I like the Ryans.
I was actually surprised that Jimmy McGuffin's PPR is 9.80, considering how much he loves to throw that airmail.
Yeah.
There was one match we were watching. I believe it was Jimmy McGuffin and Damon Dennis against Cash Chamis and Braden Wilson this last weekend. And Braden and Cash had like the game on the line. It was like 19 or 20 or something like that. Mm-hmm. And Jimmy McGuffin missed his first bag off the side. One of Braden Wilson's bags is right on the hole, I think. And Jimmy McGuffin just doesn't care. Jimmy McGuffin threw 3 open board airmails because he felt like that was his more consistent shot over the slide-in shot. And sure enough, he hits 3 open board airmails. Kyle Petering looks at me. He's like, what are we doing here? I'm like, I'm telling you, when he's confident, man, you ain't stopping Jimmy McGuffin. So
yeah. By the way, shout out to the kids.
Oh, Braden Cash. Yeah, that was
that
awesome,
run.
Man.
That is crazy.
That was awesome. And Cash stepped up. Cash is not that level of player, but Braden Wilson, man, I love the chemistry from them. Braden Wilson's psyching his teammates up, whatever that's called. his
Sure.
moxie, if you will, is amazing. But that being said, I'm going with the Ryans over me in that one. So style of play, Ryan Wingfield taking the edge. All right. Next up, Cody Henderson, Adam Hiss. Look at all the love on this page. Cody Henderson, Adam on Hunter Thorne and Tony Smith. Hunter and Tony, they took it down in Mesa. Cody and Adam, they took it down, I believe, in Dallas Fort Worth. 10th ranked pro team going against a throw together team with 9.74 again and a 9.91 against 9.66 and 9.67. This one's a little bit more interesting.
Yeah.
The top player, in my opinion, is Tony Smith in this one.
Mm-hmm.
No disrespect at all. Hunter Thorne, not very much further below Cody and Adam, but I think we got basically an A and a D and a B and a C type thing going on here, where it's going to come down to how well Hunter Thorne is throwing. I think Hunter Thorne is more than capable of throwing at the elite talent that they need to win this one. But, I don't really think that Adam and Cody are going to give you too many opportunities to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So we saw a version of Hunter Thorne, I'd probably say around shootout, what was it, I guess 6, 7, and 8, or I'm sorry, open number 12, 13, 14, like that, where Hunter Thorne was just on the top of his game.
Right.
And it's kind of taking a couple steps back because he's almost fanboying over Tony a little bit.
Right. I'm with you.
I want the elite Hunter back.
Yeah. This is another one of those things that now that Adam and Cody are here and the money's right around the corner, it's actually tangible. You can feel it. You're just not, you're super close to it. I think you get them very focused. Yeah. And I still think a very focused Adam and Cody are remarkably dangerous. Yeah. That being said, I think Tony's the best player.
Yeah.
Right. I'm with you on it. It really comes down to Hunter and what level he's going to be. Because once again, you kind of know what you're getting with Adam and Cody.
Yeah. I saw
However,
absolutely.
Cody can be up and down as a player.
But I saw absolutely nothing out of Adam and Cody last year. Basically, Intel Worlds.
Right.
And they're like, hey, guys, we're here. Remember us?
Right.
And the one thing I think that they got going for them here is we just came off of Ohio. So they were probably a little motivated, geared up for that one, got back into the competitive nature of cornhole for them. Heading into Worlds, Hunter Thorne wasn't all weekend. As far as momentum goes, I like what I'm seeing out of Adam and Cody. I'm actually taking them to take this one down.
That's funny you say that, because part of me, because of Tony, wants to take them and just, so we can argue about it. But I'm going to agree with you, which is probably the kiss of death for Adam and Cody.
Yeah.
So I'm agreeing with you. I kind of like
21-0 shutout. Tony and Hunter take it down. All right, next up, we got Frank and Cheyenne taking on Jay Rubin and Jordan Power. Jay and Jordan come in as the 25th ranked team. Cheyenne and Frank, the 27th ranked team. So as far as standings goes, it's pretty close. But how about Jay Rubin's 10.09 PPR and 9.62 from Jordan against the 9.65 and 9.87 there, Frank and Cheyenne. I think this one's going to be a pretty good one. The TV timeout saved Frank and Cheyenne the first time. Jay Rubin was just absolutely lights out. Yep. Jordan Power found it at the end at the right time to take that one down in Oak Creek, Wisconsin. But I like what I'm seeing out of Jay Rubin as we start winding down the season. As far as going into the 4 players, who's the hottest? I think Jay Rubin leads the way there. Jordan Power had a good run in singles. Ran into a red hot Devin Harbaugh. I think it was 37 rounds or something like that. Yeah. Both players thrown around 11 yesterday.
Yeah, that was crazy. Those numbers were insane.
Yeah, but the way that we're going here, I'm leaning towards Jay and Jordan. I think they're getting hot at the right time. Again, kind of quiet all season. World Championships come around. They, we know what happened there. They took that one down. End of the season team for me.
Yeah, I mean, they're hot right now, right? So you kind of want to lean that way. This to me is all about Frank Modlin. Once again, every other player on the court, you know what you're going to get. I mean, their A and their B game just aren't that dissimilar, really, with these guys. I mean, Frank can be up and down. I mean, at least at this point in his career, you can still get crazy good Frank Modlin like you used to get Frank Modlin, but every now and then you get a Frank that can't quite find it, and that's going to kill him. Especially if he, with the way that these guys can put bags in the hole and their confidence level being so high. By the way, tangent. Spoke to Jay Rubin, I believe, in, I want to say Portland.
Okay.
And he was talking about how, his results haven't been good. But he's like, if you look at my stats, he's like, I'm playing well. I'm just a little bit unlucky. And I think maybe the luck's kind of changed a little bit for him because he continues to play lights out. I'm with you. I kind of want to take them, but I think it all comes down to Frank Modlin and how he plays. If you get A+ Frank Modlin game, I think they can pull it off. But I just, with the confidence level and the way that Jordan and Jay are playing right now, I think you got to lean in that direction.
Yeah, I'm gonna make an executive decision. Say Frank and Cheyenne need to throw the game changers in this one. They're getting the evolutions going, but they
Right.
won. They won this with the game changers, and Frank Marlin can just do a few more tricks with the game changers. So
I'm
they
with
might
you.
need it against Jay and Jordan. Going into the final round here, we got Noel Mons and Jeremy Frazier come in as the 3 seed. They took that one down from the South Dakota/Miami finals. So there you can see Jeremy wearing the shades. Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain took it down in Ramsey, Minnesota. They are fired up. Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain, one of the hottest teams all season, come in as the
Mm-hmm.
third-ranked pro team. Noah and Jeremy, another throw-together team. 9.25 and 9.42 against a 9.79 and 9.11. Logan, though, at 9.11 comes with a lot of blocks and a lot of rolls, and it looks like his role is working right now. Frazier and Almanza, I think, lean a little bit more towards the airmail style of play. So I think this one's going to be a pretty good one. It's going to be closer, but it's going to be hard for me to go against Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain.
I think you have to, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
have to lean in that direction. However, if you're Jeremy Frazier and Noah Almanza, I think everyone's going to say that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes with people, it just frees you up. There's no pressure. Like, hey, we're not supposed to be here. We have no chance to win this according to everybody. So who cares? Let's just let it go. And I think if they take that mindset, who knows? But if you're a betting person and someone, like you said earlier, holds a gun to your head, who's going to win this match? I think you have to go JBJ and Logan.
Yep. All right. So you forced us to pick winners.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with my guys. I'm going with Ryan Weidenfeld. He's got the one thing no other player has in this bracket, and that's the K9 logo on his jersey. Let's go, Ryan. Take it down.
I think, wow. I think I might go with JBJ and Logan. Actually,
Okay. All
I
right.
think they're going to give people some fits.
All right, chat. So that's it for the shootout format. We got our picks in. Let us know who you guys are taking as far as the men's, women's, and doubles action. When we come back, we're going to do the best we can to break down teams and tell you who is left alive as far as those 8 teams. See you in a few. All right, ACL Nation, home stretch time. Down to the final segment of our ACL live production here. We got Michelle and Bernie next week. I think you guys are going to go over doubles, and then me and you close it out the following week. Singles talk. Now, when do you actually get out to Worlds?
It's a really good question, man. I don't know because like for me, I get to go home and I get to spend some time with mom. So I don't know what day I'm actually going to go because like I'm going to be staying down in Rock Hill, so I might go a couple days early
Okay.
and get some mom time in. So
I say, are we doing that one live on set?
it might be,
so,
that'd be fun.
so I'll be down there and do a little HQ thing.
Yeah, I got no qualms with that.
Yeah, blind draw in the background. Who knows? Let's have some fun with it, right?
I've done it. I've done it in the past.
Yeah.
I've been in one of those offices.
All right, let's take a look at the playoff bracket as it's set out here for the ACL Pro Team Series. Again, this would be 3 days worth of broadcast, but first they got to make it to the broadcast. So these matchups here, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, are to get to broadcast. Everything there in the middle will be televised. We got the Ringers and Coasters, Freeze, Aviators, Maze, Slingers, Burn, and Bulldogs. First matchup, let's take a look at it. We got the Pennsylvania Ringers taking on the Carolina Coasters. And again, got kind of thrown into the show last minute. Pulled up the information that I had available to me. So hopefully these rosters are somewhat accurate.
Yeah. I can't remember exactly what the Ringers run was. Did they start 1-3 or did they start 0-3 and then won 10 straight?
I think the Ringers started off kind of slow and then they kind of figured out and just went on a tear. So I believe you were right. I think
I know. I think it was 0-3. It was at least 1-3, and then they got to 10-3, which is just insane. And I just something needs to be said about that. I mean, that's a hot team. I think the Coasters, because of some roster issues, I think kind of affected their play as they kind of came towards the end of the season. But I don't know, man. It sucks for us because we don't know who's playing. Like the lineups aren't set as far as we know. So it's kind of hard to kind of juxtapose how that's all going to break down. But I mean, the way the Ringers played second half of the season, it's got to be Ringers in this matchup now, right? Even though I'm a Coasters guy, I'm a Coasters fan.
I was wondering if you're going to pick with your heart or if you're going to pick with what your eyeballs are seeing. Because for me, I'm looking at this two different ways. The first thing I'm looking at is Trevor Brooks not on the team anymore. Mike Harvey had his dilemma trying to get to the court. They had to pick up some players that were thrown into it, had a little bit of explosive situations brewing. I loved what I saw of them when they made the broadcast.
Right.
But I could say the same thing on the other side. Nate Long, Kenzie Beach, players like that weren't even on my radar at all. And the way they played on the broadcast, not to mention they're picking up Elizabeth Tennyson. I mean, I'm leaning towards Ringers in this one. I actually might pick them to win the entire thing. We'll kind of get into that a little bit more.
Sure.
Which really sucks for me because going into the next slide here, my Florida Freeze.
And they made the playoffs, man.
They made the playoffs.
They made the playoffs. So it starts anew.
I like where they're sitting. I don't like the way I saw them on the broadcast.
Yeah,
but I could say the same thing for the Aviators over on the other side. Now, with that being said, the Aviators played earlier in the season. We talked about Fisher Hamilton's yips on the broadcast score for the first time. He's got that figured out now. He is where he needs to be. Obviously, the big thing with the Aviators was the trade at the draft, picking up Carson Getty and Gabe Dolan, sending out Jeremy Schermerhorn. Over on the Florida Freeze, though, some things that I liked. Love what I saw out of Tanisha Lashley on the broadcast court. Steve DeRicki and Ryan Hart, two players who are getting hot at the right time.
Yes.
Obviously, my boys Chris Kingsbury and Jimmy Frazier, I'm fine with them. Cody Johnson looked pretty good. I think the problem with the Florida Freeze, though, is they're just not lining up their teams properly.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I think that might be one of the biggest. When you look at all these teams and where they finish in the standings, that might have the most to do with it. Because you have to find a way to spread your talent out, and you do also have to get great play from your middle to lower ranked players on your team.
Right.
I mean, you know what you're going to get out of your best players. Everyone knows who they are, but I mean, we'll talk about the Slingers here in a second with like their best player having a terrible season, but yet they had a decent season. But I'm with you. You have to be willing to make adjustments. There's another team that made this quarterfinals that didn't really make any adjustments. So the fact they made the playoffs is kind of surprising because even though a lot of us thought they were going to be pretty decent, Kentucky Colonels, they didn't really do a lot of maneuvering. And I'm with you. I think you have to be flexible as a captain, right?
Yeah, for me, I'm taking my win. I'm taking my 4 teams. I'm like, okay, I don't even want first pick, to be honest with you. I want the I don't know how the coin toss is going to work, but I want Aviators to call it the first team. I'm pairing up Alex Rawls. I'm pairing up Cheyenne Bubenheim together. I'm keeping Jeremy and Chris together. I like what I see out of Ryan Hart and Steve DeRicki. I'm putting them together for this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then Blaine and Sarah could end up being your fourth winner. Not to mention, you still got all those other players. You got talent there. I
Yeah.
don't. That's just my 2 cents.
You're,
Listen to me. Get me a hat.
you're all Florida Freeze all the time, even though the Aviators are
Mhm.
had an amazing season. So we'll see how that plays out.
I'm nervous. Not gonna lie. I'm nervous. All right, next up, Missouri Maize, and this is over on the National Division. That was the American Division there with the Ringers, Coasters, Freeze, and Aviators. This is the National Division. Missouri Maize, California Slingers, Arizona Burn, and Texas Bulldogs, or Bully Baggers, rather.
Bully Baggers, yeah.
I did it every time. All right, Ryan Windsor, the captain for the Missouri Maize, his strategy all season has been throw him and Gavin Cano out first. They want to set the momentum and take that one down. The rest of the team, in my opinion, though, kind of falls behind for that. I think that they need some spark in the middle to get the rest of the team woken up.
Yeah.
Because if Ryan and Gavin come out and win their first game, which I think they've been doing the majority of the time, and then somebody loses, you're losing the momentum.
Right.
And I think momentum plays a bigger factor in cornhole than, coming out and punching first time in the mouth.
Right. Who did we have? Was it the Burn that they played and we were calling that match, and then Ryan and Gavin come out and lose.
Yeah.
And that kind of set the tone for that entire match. So
I think maybe that is kind of burned in my head. And then when they played the Coasters too, I feel like I like Ryan's mindset with it, but I think they just need something in the middle that's going to be like, bam, wow, look at what we got. And I don't see anywhere else on the roster that's going to create that momentum. Where on the other side, I look at the Slingers and I'm like, okay, they got some pretty good matchups that they could throw out to you around games 4 or 5 that could be, a momentum builder for their team. So again, we don't know who the matchups are, who's going to throw with who's going to play against who. A lot of strategy goes into it. All you got to do is win 4 out of the 7 matchups, but I'm leaning Cali Slingers here.
Yeah, you talked about middle of the lineup. Remember in the broadcast that we had, I believe it was Detroit, and they were playing the Marauders, and Corey Gilbert and Ricky G just went out and just smoked Joe K and Jeremy Shermahorn. And that's, that was, even though they ended up, I believe the Marauders ended up winning that matchup, but you got to have something in the middle. I'm with you. Usually a lot, it seems that way, that a lot of the captains are putting out a star-studded team early. Yeah. At least first or second, right? The cleanup spot does seem to be kind of a big momentum swing. You got to have somebody in that 4 hole.
Yeah, I don't know who the bottom team is for the Cali Slingers. I haven't really had a chance to follow teams as much as I wanted to, but let's say Windsor gets first toss and he throws out Windsor and Cano. I'm sacrificing somebody from the Slingers right there the first round. You know what I mean?
Sure.
I'm giving you that 1 point. Congratulations, you got it. I'm gonna try and take the next 6.
Right. Exactly. I'm with you.
All right, moving into the final matchup, and as we close out the show here, the Texas Bully Baggers will take on the Arizona Burn. This one's a little bit different, though, for me. This one I think is kind of straight up. I didn't really have much faith in the Arizona Burn coming off of the draft, but I got all the faith in the world with Athena Delgado and her 97 spreadsheets. I mean, I am overly impressed with how she is managing this team, and I'm not sure if there's any other team captain that's really getting into it like she is. I mean, she's got stats for who's throwing with their left arm outside the board, their arm over the board, who pairs up with who, when do they throw out this team, usually stuff like that. Mm-hmm. She has got spreadsheet after spreadsheet on it. Talent-wise, I'm going Texas Bully Baggers.
Yeah.
I'm obviously love what I'm seeing out of Eddie, KB, AJ, Dylan Turpin. Deborah Odom has been throwing really, really well lately. Kingfisher and Saladiner are kind of surprises for me this year in the positive way. Mm-hmm. I gotta say, Brandon Jones, he stepped it up a lot at national number 4. He impressed me quite a bit, and I was really worried about the Brandon Jones Derek Holland pairing, but it works.
Yeah, it's funny. I think the Burn and the Slingers are better than the sum of their parts because of what
their actual team.
Yeah, they are, especially the Slingers. It seems to be the one team that I've witnessed that I felt had more camaraderie throughout the team. And I think it propelled them to be better than they may actually be on paper. So, I mean, I think it does play a role.
All right, so that's it, chat. We're down to the final part of our show. This is the one you guys want to see. Bernie, who are you taking? Who's your overall team's champion?
It's too easy just to go Ringers, right? Because they were so hot and the way they blasted through at the end of the season. But that's what I'm going to do.
You're going Ringers?
I'm going chalk. They played so well coming down, and there has to be something to that you can win 7 straight matches or 10 straight matches, whatever it was. There's something there. There's a reason for it. So I'm going Ringers.
I think the Ringers are definitely gonna be one of the toughest teams, but I'm going with it. If they listen to me and they switch up the lineups,
my goodness, he's staying
I
Freeze.
can single-handedly fix them if they just listen to me. I'm going Florida Freeze to take it all down.
That's awesome.
All right, chat. That's it for us. I will take 7 days off. You guys might not see me on Facebook. Actually, I take that back. I gotta do marble races tomorrow, and then Jimmy Humans and I are gonna do a fun show, hopefully Wednesday, where we break up all the teams and start.
You're never not on the computer, Wally.
Yeah, well,
I can find you there 7 days a week.
Thursday and Friday definitely won't see me. I'll be playing Call of Duty, if anything, or just kind of sleeping. But in the meantime, chat, you guys enjoy yourselves. Get some practice in. Big tournaments coming up. Bernie, I'll see you at Worlds, man.
Yes, sir, brother. Look forward to it.